Hello, everyone. Scotty White. I'm about to interview a professional boxer going by the name of Fernando El Terrible Bunch out of Roy Jones Jr. boxing stable. Let's kick this off. Hello, everyone. This is Scotty White of World Combat Sports. Today I'm about to interview a professional fighter out of the Roy Jones Jr. stable. His name is Fernando El Terrible Bunch. So give me a minute so I can link him up and we will kickstart this interview. What is good, man? Thanks for dropping in.
How's it going? How's it going?
All right. Hey, for all of you that's in attendance right now, this is Scotty White of World Combat Sports. I have the pleasure of interviewing professional fighter, boxer, Fernando El Terrible Bunch. What's good with you today, man?
How you doing? How you doing, brother?
All right. How was training today, man? How did everything go for you?
It was great. It was great. Got up this morning. We got our run in, and we actually just left Roy's, and it's like he names it as the Shaolin Temple of Boxing.
Okay.
And so that's what it is, straight to the key. You know, you learn so much. It's like you have so much on your brain. Once you leave there, it's like you study, you still working, even though you're not in the gym anymore. So I love it. I love it.
Hey, that's what you need, man. Steel sharp as steel. You know how it goes, man. You fighting out
always.
Yeah, you fighting out of Augusta, Georgia, man. How the heck did you link up with legendary fighter Roy Jones Jr., man?
Oh, man. 3 letters. God.
Okay.
God, man. God made it happen. I mean, you know how it goes. Relationships, especially in boxing, is the most important. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And thankfully, I was in shape. I was called to do some sparring with one of Roy's managers guys. And I got to spar with him, and then after that, I was invited to go to Florida and train with Roy with one of his other boxers who was getting ready to fight. And Roy, he liked me, and he invited me to come back. And after that point, he was like, "Don't take any more fights. I'm gonna get you your fights moving forward." And at that point, instead of calling him champ, I called him coach now.
Dang, absolutely, man. Hey, we can't call that a coincidence. We got to say that's a blessing right there, right?
Yes, indeed.
That's a blessing. Hey, that's what's up, man. I was curious, you know. I saw you out here, and I've been hearing your name a lot. Hey, shout out to Michael Williams Jr. down there, and
big shout out.
Yeah, 150% and his dad 300, man. How's it like training down there, man, under tutelage of Roy Jones Jr.'s and your stablemates?
Man, it's great. It's great. I feel like it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's an opportunity that I'm extremely grateful for because I know a lot of boxers like myself would kill to be in the same opportunity. So I definitely make sure that I do not take it for granted because I know that anybody would love to have this. As well as like being amongst a lot of different pros as well as my main man, Junior, Michael Williams Jr. It's like you said earlier, iron sharpens iron, in which with me and him and the type of DNA that we have, me and him are very alike.
He went out for a minute. Just be patient. Hopefully he come back in. Hey, you there, Fernando? Let me bring him back in. That's what happened when they driving. You never know when they driving how it's gonna go down. Just be patient. Let me get him back on here. So I sent them another request. Hey, thank you all for dropping in. Hey, salute Michael Williams Senior 300. I see you out there. Salute to Williams, Team Williams Jr. They out of the same stable down there in Florida with Roy Jones Jr. So thanks for dropping through. P. Robinson. So I sent them a request. You know how it is when people driving. Sometimes it drops out. So I sent him another request, man. He should be back on in a minute. Hey, salute to you, all of you that's dropping by right now, man. World Combat Sports. Be sure to follow me. You know, trying to get these young fighters' name out here. This particular fighter, Fernando El Terrible Bunch, 8 victories, 0 defeats, and 4 knockouts. Like you heard, it wasn't a coincidence. It was a blessing. He got picked up to be able to work on the tutelage of Roy Jones Jr. down there in Florida. We all know who that is. Who wouldn't want to be in that position? And especially his stablemate down there, Michael Williams Jr. Hey, steel sharpens steel, man. It's only a blessing. So let me send him out another request. See, can I pop this off again? I truly don't know how that process even happens so much when it's in a vehicle. Hey, be sure to drop some comments in there while I'm in the process of trying to link him back up there, fight fans. And you know, we're going to ask him some questions or whatever. What's going on, Willie Harvey? What's good? Hey, Fernando, I'm sending you the request, and it's saying that no answer. Here we go. Hey, thanks for being patient there, fight fans. Appreciate it. Be sure to drop some of your questions. You good, man? Can you hear me?
All right, hello. Yes, sir, I can hear you good now.
Oh, were you going to a bad area or what?
Oh no, sir. I'm actually just sitting in the parking lot. My father was calling me, trying to make sure I did good as far as practice, make sure I was straight. So
okay.
I apologize about that.
No, it's all good, man.
Yes, sir. But ultimately, what I was saying earlier. It's a great experience. We see a lot of different pros, a lot of different styles. Here, however, with Roy is very technical. You know, he knows exactly what he's looking for. You can't tell him something that he hasn't experienced already.
All right.
So it's like, you know, it's like when he tells you something, you can really take it in with confidence and complete understanding, knowing that this is a world champion right here.
Let me ask you this, Fernando. What has he changed about your overall skill set? What wrinkles has Roy Jones, applied to your skill set right now as a professional fighter?
So far already, and it's so funny because everyone who sees me work now, they can see it. Where now I'm being more of myself. You can see me being more of myself, as well as everything is more tighter. Everything's more tighter. Everything's more solid. You know, and which also I'm a lot smarter. One of the main things that Roy his main wants of me, as far as a fighter, after he watched me spar a couple of times, was that he wanted me to make better decisions. He knows that just like my name, El Terrible, I'm terrible. I don't mind taking a shot to get what I want in. You know, where he's like, nah, double negative. We ain't doing that. You know. He's like, I want you to make better decisions, be smart. You're so tall, nobody needs to get near you. So with that, that's what we've really been perfecting and focusing on.
Hey, that's sound advice, man. You know, you got 8 victories, 0 defeats, and 4 knockouts. So what's the strongest part of your fight game right now? Your skill set? What's your I would say your go-to combination or the punch you use most of the time when you're in there in the square?
Right now, what has always been, utilizing my jab, utilizing the best being a ring general, making sure that I'm always knowing exactly where I'm at all times. As far as like the best punch, it's like now I fell in love so much with my jab. I'm setting everything up off the jab. Where I always been the biggest fan of the left hooks, Felix Trinidad, Miguel Cotto. I've always loved their left hooks. However, you can't really land that solid left hook without getting there first. And with me being so tall, I've learned that you got to utilize the jab. And which now, with me being with Roy, I'm more creative with it. So
All right.
I could definitely say my jab, and then that just leads to everything else.
Hey, what weight you currently fighting at, man? I think it's lightweight, right? 135?
Yes, sir, but we're going to be at 130. Because, I've been fighting at 135 because that's just been the easiest to get people to fight me at. However, now that we know that I'll be able to step with better opposition with Roy behind me, we coming strong at 130.
Do you have an idea when your next fight is going to be?
October. He already told me right after sparring. He was like, "You ready?" He said, "We're going to look at something for October." And so that made my day.
Yeah. Hey, if you had that, Fernando, to be able to step in the ring with any 130-pounder right now in the top 15, it don't matter what sanctioning body, who would you kick it with? Who would you select?
You just said top 15, so that's very specific.
Yeah.
Because at 130, I would love to get the world champions. To be honest, it really wouldn't matter. It'd be everybody that's in the top 10. Because as soon as I knock them off, I'm in the top 10.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And which I'm the big man. I'm bigger than all of them.
Okay.
So as far as physically and, monetarily, I will be soon. But, any of them. Anyone.
So give me one name that's familiar with you like to touch them up with right now.
To be honest, who I can think of, just like mine, of course, Ryan Garcia. He definitely can get this work. Who else is at 130? Right now, the top 15. We got what's his name? Even because if I'm not mistaken, Terremoto is coming up to 130 soon. From California, if I'm not mistaken. I'm bad right now. You caught me on the spot. You really caught me on the spot because honestly, I would be able to give you a whole list of names. And which right now in the top 15, I'm just really ready for all of them.
Hey,
I have to get on.
That's your mentality, man. That's what you gotta have. You can't be up here saying, you're not ready. You got a positive mentality, man. You're ready to step in there with the best. I just mentioned top 15 to kind of put you on that scale in that weight class. I thought you was fighting.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I thought you was fighting 135. You saying you're dropping down to 130, so that's why I asked you. You know what I'm saying?
I can dig that. And honestly, because, of course, it's just how my body frame is. That's one of the things that Roy, anytime anybody mentions me to Roy, it's like as if Roy know he got a diamond in the rough because I'm 5'10 and a half, I'm 5'11", fighting at 130 pounds, and I'm strong. I'm a beast. I'm 27. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
So it's like I have my manpower, and with him knowing that, it's like he like all I got to do is just tighten you up, make these little tweaks that we need to make, and we going. And all I can say is let's go. Let's get it. This is what I've been waiting for.
Hey, that's the attitude to have, man. Michael Williams Sr. said that's two of Roy's boys that want Ryan Garcia. He's in trouble.
You heard. I'm talking about we hungry. We hungry out here. So, yes, sir. That's definitely facts.
Hey, I hope y'all able to get that exposure out there, man. I like what I see going down there, with Roy Jones Jr. It's good that he has some fighters in his stable to help one another grow, and get that work, solid work at that. It's only going to improve you once you step back in there anyway. So tell me this.
Absolutely.
So tell me this there, Fernando. Like, you basically fall out of Augusta, and now you're training down there in Florida. What's your training regimen, man? How often are you down there in Florida training? Are you down there, 2 weeks out of the month? Or what?
Yes, sir. I've been coming down to Roy's about every 2 weeks, every other week. So, and then what I do is I've been spending like a week and a half with Roy. And which, with him, is strictly according to what Roy wants us to do as far as morning workouts as well as night workouts. However, when I'm at home, I go back to my home gym. I still work. I still in reality, so I still work. So I run my 5 miles, lunch break, after work, go to boxing practice. And really just continue to focus on what Roy was working on me with, so that I can come back just like the other day. I can come back, and without me saying absolutely anything, everybody can be like, "Oh, he been practicing, he been working," and that's what I want, and that's basically how it's been going ever since June. Yeah, around June. Well, because I started working with Roy as soon as right after I had my baby.
Okay, you have a child. So how old is he or she?
Yes, sir. I got 2 beautiful daughters.
All right.
I have a 6-year-old. Her name is Maya, and then I have a 4-month-old. She just turned 4 months. And her name is Miliana, and we just had her back in May.
Hey, you definitely got something to fight for. Outside of the ring.
Absolutely.
You know what it is, and that's good news to hear,
Yes,
man. They'll be able to see Dad in there getting it in. Let me ask you.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this a little bit off topic, a little bit, man. You got the fight coming up this weekend between Triple G and Canelo. Who you got in that, man? Who you rooting for in that?
Man, I want Triple G. I truly want Triple G to win. It's clear that my man Canelo's been cheating, and which I'm not happy about. And then on top of that, that's really something I hate to swallow, because it's confirmed that he's been cheating,
Yeah.
And so he failed 2 tests, and as well as Triple G got bricks in his hands, where sometimes I feel like Canelo is a little limited, especially with fighters that move a lot. Even though Triple G doesn't move a lot, he comes to fight. He comes to break you. So I'm looking for Triple G to come out with the W.
All right. I mean, Canelo said his mentality this time around was to go in there and knock him out. He looked a lot more trim and conditioned. He looked a lot more shredded, to be honest. So, it's a big deal this weekend for them to return in the rematch and for them to put on an exciting fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, though, there, Fernando.
I can dig it. I can dig that.
I just never been a fan of Triple G, man. I just think he takes too much punishment, to be honest, when it boils down to it.
Unnecessary punishment.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
So it's good y'all in the gym, man. Y'all boxing not to get hit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, boxing not to get hit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that I truly admire about Roy, because every day in Roy Jones' gym is a photo shoot. And every day you got some folks coming with some cameras, videotaping, and with this man who's fought 60 plus fights, he done went from middleweight all the way to heavyweight, done something that some people haven't done over 30 years before he even done it. And which, with me saying all of that, this man is so articulate in his words, where he could go train with us, he'll be training us, right? And then he'll literally be like, all right, I need y'all to focus on this. I'll be right back. I'm going to go handle this interview. He'll go do the interview. Only take 1 shot. No stuttering, no switching, no reading, no papers. Then he come right back. All right, now let me see if y'all done it. In which I'm looking like, wow. So
hey.
I have the wow moment every day. Like it still hasn't set in yet that I'm with Roy Jones.
Hey, that's what's up, man. It seems like you having fun, and that's what it's all about. Pastor Dr. Joseph Hall said, "We rooting for you, champ, here in Augusta."
Awesome.
You got your fans.
There. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got your fans. Chris Leach said, "Great guy, humble, but always ready to fight." Fernando is one person I know will make it. Hey, shout out to Chop Corley in the house. You know what I'm saying? He's still in the game.
Chop. Big shout out to Chop. He's definitely helped me out a lot. I got gloves, shoes, everything from my man. I love him. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Chop's still on the bag, man, in there training like he barely got 20 fights, man.
And only 20 years old.
Yeah, for real.
You wouldn't even know it if he told you.
Yeah, man. It's good to see that, though. Still coherent, still astute to being able to talk right. You know how boxing is. How some people take too much punishment. And they can barely carry on the conversation and all that. Yeah, that's
like
good
they're
stuff.
chewing on rocks.
Exactly.
And that's not necessary. I got 2 little girls, and they love my 6-year-old. She loves to read. You know, this is the beginning stages of the reading. So that's why I always want to make sure that even right now, while Daddy is good and we're low right now, I want to make sure I can read to you all every night. However, when we at the top of the stage, I want to make sure that I can read to her every night as well.
Hey, tell me this there, El Terrible. Did you get your name from a particular boxer, or you just picked it up? Because one of my favorite fighters back in the day was Eric Morales, Hall of Famer. His name was El Terrible. Where did you get that name from, man?
Yes, sir. It's kind of funny because that actually was my favorite fighter as well when I was young. You know, that was the only fighter I would play with on a fight night as well as, you know, watching the fights. However, I got the name Terrible, which is the same thing as the terrible in Spanish.
Okay.
Is because how I can say it. I was very, very aggressive when I was younger. You know, I'm a lot more better. I'm a lot more humble after I had my kids and stuff. You know, my mentality turned. I never was a bad kid. I never got in a lot of trouble. However, I used to act a lot off of instinct versus impulse. I used to act a lot off of impulse versus cognition, in which it was terrible. And so, like, that's how that name came about. And in the ring, it's the same way, even though I'm more of a technician now versus a terrible brawler or anything like that. So it's funny, but it fits.
Hey, speaking of cognition, I know you said that you used to be in Taekwondo. Instead of using your legs, you say you wanted to put hands on them, and they didn't want that to happen, man. Speak on it a little bit, man. How did you get DQ'd from Taekwondo, man?
Oh man, that is funny because this happened. It happened like 4 tournaments in a row. Okay, yeah, I think it was backdraft. Okay, but so basically how it happened was I was so little. When I was younger, I was very little. Like I was like 12 years old, walking around 60 pounds. So in the Taekwondo tournaments, I used to have to fight the girls, and I would win all the time. However, once I started getting a little older, they'll put me in their groups with the boys, which was awesome. So then, you know, I'm ready to punch. I'll throw one kick, and then I'll throw nothing but punches. And, you know, as you grow up in the age group, they're more, you know, strict on the rules.
Yeah.
And so they was like, oh, no, you punched too hard to the head. Disqualified. And, like, that happened, like, 3 times in a row, in which I was a sore loser when I was younger. So I literally, like, my father was my instructor. He's a 3rd-degree black belt. So I literally had to beg my mom to convince my dad to allow me to quit. And I started playing soccer. And after that, I met my best friend, and then we started boxing ever since.
Hey, man, that's cool stuff. I didn't know your dad was in martial arts. Hey, salute to your pops, man.
Yes,
you know, absolutely. Family is first.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to ask you something off topic, though, you know, because I got to get the rebound back, man. You know, we just leaving the club, and we run into Sanaa Latham, Megan Good, or even Ashanti. And they say, hey, Fernando, I done heard so much about you, man. Which one will you select out of the crew, man? Sanaa Latham?
None of them.
Megan Good?
I love the question, but you know what? I want to be the safest possible, especially being here in camp and away from home. None of them.
Hey, man, you never know. You know, Ashanti, man. Hey, she's still out there, man. She's still looking like she just, turned 20 years old, man?
About to get me in trouble.
Hey,
you know what?
I had to bring that precipitation back down because, you know, the men, the married and kiss and all. No. I had to bring it back around, man.
I love loving basketball, so I would go with Sanaa Latham just because of loving basketball.
Absolutely. That's all we need to know, man.
I
You know what
she
it
could
is.
give me a good game.
Yeah, for sure, man. And she likes sports in the process, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Tilt Williams.
Exactly.
I guess Tilt Williams dropped by. Tilt Williams, your cousin.
Oh yeah, what's up, Cuzzo? Yes, sir. Man, I thank everybody that's tuning in big time. As well as shout out to my sponsor, Nableton of Infinity. They're the ones that's making sure I get here. So I definitely got to thank them as well as everyone that supports Team Bunch. Because especially when it's time I have to make these trips. you know, they definitely are the ones that help me out to make sure it happens.
Hey, you mentioned earlier there, Fernando, that you out of Augusta training up there. Hey, talk about your gym that's up there, man. You know, what gym you training out of up there in Augusta?
Absolutely, man. I give a big shout out and acknowledge all the gyms in Augusta, because one reason I say that is because Marcy's Boxing Club, that is my home. Marciano Diaz, that was my original coach who raised me from 80 pounds, you know, and he's finally opened up his own gym in Grovetown, Georgia, which
Okay.
is right next to Augusta. However, I also always would have to acknowledge Augusta Boxing Club as well, and which, you know, that is the same gym that Rayonte Whitfield came out of, as well as Vernon Forrest as well, in which they have helped me tremendously. I've trained with them, I would say, within the past 5 to 6 years.
All right.
Also, including with Marciano Diaz, in which they got a great stable. They got so many kids right now that are doing that thing. I mean, they just went out to not Paul Murphy's, but Sugar Burst tournament, and they all came back home with belts. So, man, that make me so proud every time I see it.
Yeah, and speaking of Sugar Burt, man, the Roscoe brothers went out there. You know, they picked up titles too, man. Hey, salute to Walter Wade in the building. Hey, thanks for dropping in. You know, hey, what's your goals in boxing there, Fernando, man? I know you got a tall order. I done heard you speak on it.
Oh, yeah.
From my understanding, you said you wanted to be a unified champion in 3 divisions. Talk on it, man.
Yes, indeed. I want to be a world champion, a unified world champion, not only as far as for all the belts in each weight class that I campaign in, but, you know, as far as I move up. Because, like we said, look at our DNA. I'm 5'10" and a half. Walking around at 37, but I hit like I'm 60 at 167. So it's like, of course, I want to take over 130 pounds. Then I want to move up to 135, and then of course I want to move up to 40. And which, of course, you know, me and you both know the real money is at 47. And in which, when that day comes that allows me to get there, that's where we're gonna get to, because my height will allow me to get there and be, you know, a strong opposition.
Hey, your style right now, speaking of welterweight division, which is one of the most hottest divisions in boxing right now, who do you see being the best in the division right now, man, up in there 147?
That's a very good question, because with that, where, you know, automatically everybody will be looking at Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, because they're the 2 top men at that weight class right now. So you got to give them that respect. However, we know Terrence Crawford has just started campaigning as far as at 147 from his last win, and which he did great. However, everybody knew that he was going to do that to Jeff Horn. So, you know, a lot of people are not convinced. But Terrence Crawford is up there as well, in which I really, really like Terrence Crawford, because he got a tool bag for everything. Yeah.
So did you agree with the WBC bout that happened this past weekend for the vacant, you know, old Keith Thurman belt? You know, it used to be Danny Garcia's, and then it was Keith Thurman, so he had to vacate it because he had an elbow injury, a fingernail injury, you know, earlobe injury.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, we don't understand what he had, but how did you think that bout went, man? Did you think Sean Porter pulled it out, or Danny Garcia was the more accurate puncher that didn't get credit for his scoring?
Makes sense. And you know what? I like that you asked me that, because I was talking to one of my fellow boxers about that as well, and which it kind of took me to the amateur days. Because if you know, in amateurs, the main thing that they say is effective aggressiveness. Who had the more ring generalship and who had the most aggression but was effective with it. So when I look at that fight, that's what comes to my brain, because Danny Garcia did his thing as far as the double left hook, as far as with the precision, as far as his percentage landing was crazy. However, I felt like if he would have did the same thing he did, but did a little bit more, you know, as far as picking his numbers up, he would have deserved that win. In which, with me having the understanding that to win some of those amateur fights, you just had to be effective. I mean, you had to be aggressive, but effectively, as far as coming forward, not getting touched, making sure you're getting your numbers up, making sure you're touching head, body, arms, everywhere. Sean Porter did accomplish that, in which I honestly can respect that win. Now, me personally, I don't like to say this a lot as far as putting my opinion out about it, but it's the truth. Boxing has politics. Yeah. Everything. Politics is in absolutely everything, right? You can play tic-tac-toe and some politics are going to be in that. So with me knowing that, Danny Garcia has been on the good side, on the nice side for a long time. You know, so with me knowing that, even when he went and fought Herrera in Puerto Rico, and we all know he lost that fight, it's like deep down, I had a feeling that, man, he might still get the win, you know? And I was kind of surprised that he took 2 L's back-to-back, so.
Hey,
and I could appreciate that.
That's a concise summary that you just gave, because, yeah, boxing is politics, man. You know, unless Fernando is the one that's on the receiving end. You know what I'm saying? If you getting that blessing, you good to go. But that's boxing in general, man. I was pulling for Danny Garcia, to be honest. But, you know, I have to give Porter that salute to come out with a different fight plan. When the bell rung in the first round, man, and he kept his distance, I said, you know what, he's going to box. We're going to see Sean Porter box. Too. Yeah. So the controversy, you know, it is what it is. Is there anyone in that division right now or a professional fighter that's on that level that you emulate your style off of?
That's active as of right now. You know what? It's somebody in that division that I could emulate my style. No, sir. But in a lighter division, it is.
And who would that
be? Actually, bantamweight. Roy Jones put me onto him. I seen him a long time ago. However, Roy really makes sure, like, to the point where after I left, Roy called me and was like, yo, did you watch him? So that's how I had to make sure. But his name is Rey Vargas, R-E-Y Vargas, from Mexico.
Okay.
He's tall and lanky just like me. He's a bad boy. He's a world champion. He's 32-0.
All right.
And which I've been studying that guy, and Roy can see that I've been studying him, and which it's everything. It's like connecting the dots. Everything is starting to come together.
Hey, out here, there, Fernando, man, we rooting for you, big dog. You know, we see you down there in the stable. I saw you out back yesterday. I got to ask you, you out there catching chickens. How's that training, man? How's that training? Cause
no joke.
Yeah. How's that cardio? How was that cardio for you catching chickens, man?
It is extremely fun. I love it. I really love it because, you know, I'm from Georgia, so I'm a country boy. You know what I'm saying? So I actually, it's fun. However, right after like a 4 or 5 mile run or straight out the gym, it's no fun. So that's why I was just telling my bro Mike. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get him out there. I'm gonna get him out there to start catching some chickens with me, and so he can see how we have to get down.
How many you had to catch, man? How many chickens he had you running off though?
Well, that day, the previous time, Roy only had me catch 2 Pacific chickens that he needed to go ahead and put him in that little shack, I guess, or the little cage. Because when I say Roy really loves chickens, like, it's no game. This man has over 1,000 chickens.
Oh, wow.
He knows exactly, he knows exactly which ones he wants, what they're doing, where they at. It's crazy. However, last time when me and James Wilkins was in camp together, we actually had a competition where we both caught, I think it was like 7 apiece, and we were timing each other. And my fastest time was like 17 seconds. I was proud. I was very proud about that.
Hey, that's good stuff, man. It's good to see, man. You know, that's a wisdom. That's a wise mind right there. You know, because we all know Roy Jones been with those cocks for a long time, those chickens for a long time. Yes. He even said he emulated, you know, his fight style off of that. Have you learned something to that extent? Has he told you anything about that extent, you know, as far as...
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And it's so crazy because absolutely we automatically refer to James Toney, right? When he did the cock move, and then James Toney decided to emulate it. So I don't think Roy would be mad at me with saying this. So it's like, you would think that Roy was just doing that to what I would say, what's that word? Like try to embarrass him a little bit or try to showboat, right? Just like with the hands behind your back.
Yeah.
With Kelly, and he cracked him, right? Well, it's like, no, it's so much more deeper than that. Where, like, he does particular things to make the other fighter bite, to make them take the bait. It's just like fishing. You throw your bait out there.
Setting traps.
And, you wait. Exactly. And that's one of the things that I've definitely been learning with Roy is setting traps. In which one thing he was just telling us last night why he loves chicken so much is where when you put, like when chickens are fighting each other, their mentality automatically is one somebody has to die and it's not going to be me. So automatically he compares himself where he's like, when I'm in the ring, what do you think I'm thinking? Somebody got to go and it's not going to be me. And who was that? Wop. Wop is his cornerman. Is one of his cornermen, Valerie Cooper. I was able to work with him, and it was so crazy because they have so much of history together, in which I'm like a big fan because I'm a boxing nerd. All I do is watch boxing. That's why I'm kind of mad at myself. I couldn't give you somebody out the top 15 earlier. However, like he would even say it where how like some of the moves that roosters and chickens would do while they're fighting, and he'd be like, "Yo, that was literally a chicken move," and I'm like, "Wow, like." This is for real. Like, this is no MTV. This is no game. Like, they're dead serious. So it's like, I'm still trying to swallow the pill.
Yeah. I know you was talking about how it changed your life, man, and you sitting up getting, you receiving phone calls from a legend like Roy Jones Jr. I appreciate you dropping by because you early in the game, even though you're 27, you still in the learning process, man, soaking all this up.
Absolutely.
And I have nothing but respect and salute to Roy Jones Jr. and the stable that he has down there. Yourself, Fernando Bunch, and also Michael Williams Jr. 150%, and his pops, Michael Williams Sr. 300. Hey, I look forward to seeing your next fight, man. Be sure you keep in touch, pass the word about World Combat Sports. And we need to chat it up again, man, once you get a couple more fights. Stop
Absolutely.
through, let me know what's popping, how everything is going, and what your direction is.
I thank you. I thank you so much. This means so much to me, period, because, sometimes, some people have to get things out the mud, as well as sometimes everyone don't have a great support system. As like I try to tell Mike every minute, like, yo, I'm happy for you, bro. Like, a lot of people are misery loves company, so they'll try to bring them down. Where I'm like, no, I'm like, I wish I was where you was at 10 years ago. And so I always tell them, like, yo, man, cherish that, cherish what you got, in which it just like with me having this opportunity right here, all this does is just confirms to me, Fernando, you're doing the right thing, brother. Keep doing it and keep working, because once upon a time I was looking left and right, up and down, like where am I gonna go next? And now look, and so I'm extremely grateful. You mentioned a very important name earlier that I wasn't able to acknowledge. You mentioned the Roscoe brothers. So let me tell you about the Roscoe brothers. Their father, Terry Roscoe, he was in the boxing gym the first day I ever stepped in the boxing gym.
All right.
That is my OG. Where Terry was fighting in the nationals. He used to go to Brownsville, Junior Olympics, everything. I was only 80 pounds. I was looking at Terry like he was like one of the most superior as far as skills wise on our team. So he had the Adidas tie guns. I don't know if you remember that, the boxing shoes.
Yeah.
Just because he had them on, I went and bought me some. So I'm talking about, man, it makes me feel so good to, just like how you just mentioned his son's names, like, we go back to where our boxing gym didn't have a boxing ring. We was in a rec center. So
right.
I never touched a boxing ring until my very first amateur fight. And everything was on cement. And so to be at this point where I'm having an interview with Combat Sports, and you just mentioned my man, that's just great to me. Like, this was 15 years ago. Now look where. So I'm just extremely grateful. I thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome, man. That's my passion, to get the message out there about you young up and coming fighters, man. You're feeling good, you're positive, And that's the way it should be, man. And, definitely keep World Combat Sports in your thought process as you continue to fight. And I want to ask you this, man. Hey, Gifted Hands is on deck. Hey, thanks for dropping in. He's a fighter too. And mention the Roscoe brothers.
What up?
Yeah. Mention the Roscoe brothers. I watched their fight. I follow and surf. Different sites and everything. So shout out to the Roscoe brothers for getting it in, man. It's good to see that. Once again, Chop Corley, and those guys. And hey, what do you got to say to your fans before you get out of here, man? Social media, where they can follow you at.
Oh yeah, social media, Fernando Bunch, everything spelled correctly on Facebook. As far as Instagram and Twitter is Nando, Nando, El Terrible, EL and then terrible, Terrible. Follow me. I need some followers. I need all of that. I'm not big on it, so I need all of that. In which I always try to make sure I look at these comments and acknowledge as much as I can everybody, because I'm big in support, and I try to support everybody that I possibly can just for this reason, so that when I have my opportunity, those folks will come back, as well as other people would be having an incentive to come, support your man. And so I truly, I thank my sponsors. I thank all my coworkers at T-Mobile. I thank my family. I thank everybody that's watching right now. If you don't know me, man, I promise you I'm approachable. Come get to know me. I'm just trying to be great. I'm trying to be the best father I possibly can be, as well as the best man I possibly can be, as well as the best boxer. And which I honestly can see I'm apparently doing something right, because we're starting to have a little bit more movement, a little bit more production, So I just thank everybody. I probably end up being on here an hour saying thank you if you wouldn't stop me. So I'm extremely grateful.
No, man, it's all good, man. It's good to see. It's good, like you said, the movement. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the movement and the support system that you got around you. And it's very much the entire process to make it all mesh together. The unit, the teamwork, all of that. So it's absolutely been a pleasure, young warrior. Continue to go in there and do what you do. And like you said, I salute you on being a father, first and foremost. And then second, I'll be tuned in to your next fight. You say it's in October. And I'll definitely be looking forward to a future interview with you to see what's going on in your direction, man, your avenue.
Absolutely. And I truly appreciate it. And I already got you family now. So
hey, no doubt, man.
Make sure I hit you up and let you know.
Hey, for those of you that tune in, be sure to share the video, man, and get this young fighter out there, get his name out there even more. Social media is so broad. So just support World Combat Sports, support Fernando, a terrible bunch, professional fighter, 8 victories, 0 defeats, and 4 knockouts, fighting out of Augusta and training under tutelage of Roy Jones Jr. down there in Florida. It's been a pleasure there, Fernando. Salute to you. Be safe out there and continue to be hungry, man.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. And we definitely be keeping in touch with you soon, because October right around the corner.
Absolutely, man. Hey, feel free. Hit me up in the inbox. And that's what it is, man. We'll do this again, man.
Sound like a plan. Thank you so much.
All right. Take it easy.
All right now.
Hey, for those of you that dropped in, hey, thank you very much for dropping in. Be sure to tune in to that young fighter. He has a fight coming up in October. Those of you that dropped in, Gifted Hands, Michael Williams Sr., you know what it is, 300. Williams Jr. that's down there. Training with Fernando Bunch down there under Roy Jones Jr. gym. A lot of y'all, it was the first time through. I appreciate it. Be sure to stop through at World Combat Sports. I try to do these interviews on a weekly basis. You know what I'm saying? If you can pass the word to some of these professional fighters out here, I would truly appreciate your support, because I'm all about getting the message out there. So, do me a favor, support World Combat Sports, like the page, join the group, and pass the word, man. I'm in the process of growing myself, journalist, writer, and yeah. And be sure to tune in, Charlotte, North Carolina, man. Vegas Grand Boxing Promotion going down September 29th. Be sure to stop through if you're in the local area. You're going to have Michael Williams Jr. on the card, 150%, getting it in once more. And we're going to have a plethora of other fighters that's going to be on the grand card too. So I truly appreciate y'all support. Hey, Evis Galloway just dropped in. Hey, salute, man. I see you. He's out there with legendary trainer Don Turner. Salute to you, man. Hey, Gifted Hands, I'll be watching, man. Maybe I can get you on here. You know, I'll be out there watching. I'm all across the platform on social media, man, watching these fighters out here. So, you know, pass the word, man. I'm out so I can get this video posted and share it. Hey, y'all take it easy and be sure to pass that word, man. I got to get the word out here. I got to get more interviews on a weekly basis. And I totally appreciate it. It's a passion of mine to talk to these upcoming fighters. Salute to you all.